People with weird, obscure jobs. What is your job and how did you get the job?
I work in a lab where I raise moths. I got it by telling my lab partner that I love bugs and he hooked me up.
I was a puppeteer for many years, and I actually got that job from an ad in the classifieds. It cracks me up that there is a scene in Being John Malkovich where he tries to find puppeteer in the classifieds and fails.
I'm a house manager for a family of 4. Basically, I'm a female butler. I've worked for them for 14 years, starting as the kids' nanny. They're my second family, pretty much. I organize tradespeople, holidays, birthdays, daily meals, dinner parties, housekeeping, the list goes on. It's challenging at times, but keeps me on my toes, and I enjoy that.
Concrete petrographer. I just started this month. I studied geology in college, and now my job is to look at concrete using petrographic methods I learned at school and conduct custom tests to determine quality of concrete. Very interesting work because concrete is engineered rock, and there's a lot more to it than you think.
I work in a clinical lab where I get to play with baby sweat for a bit of my day. We're testing for chloride level. Increased chloride in sweat is one of the diagnostic markers for cystic fibrosis. I am a clinical laboratory scientist. Not all clinical labs perform this test, but I am lucky enough to work at a lab where we do a couple interesting low-volume tests.
I cleaned grills for super rich people in Palm Beach. Even got to clean Michael Jordan's at one point. And it was recommended to me from a friend who was in sobriety with me after I got clean.
My job's not weird. I'm a welder. But what I do isn't very common. I build Virginia-class submarines.
I used to work on a lavender farm. It's totally unrelated to my field of study and incredibly difficult in terms of manual labor. But man, was it a beautiful place. I tended to the plants, took care of goats, and did processing for the herbs and honey. My grandparents are farmers, and so I grew up with mediocre knowledge of fieldwork and beekeeping. And when a friend's mom decided to start a business centered around lavender, she asked me to help out for the summer.
I'm a potter. Not sure if that fits the bill for weird. I used to be the manager for a museum art school and began taking classes there years ago. Eventually transitioned into being a full-time potter and pottery teacher.
Past job, I worked at a whorehouse. I was the receptionist. Guys would come, and I'd buzz them in after confirmation of their appointment from the intercom. They would enter, check I'd get, then a water or pop, take payment. Then I'd call the girl from the intercom, and they would let him to the room. It is technically an adult massage parlor. I applied off Craigslist, went for the interview. Only real rule was receptionists cannot become escorts and escorts cannot after chose to be reception.
I'm diver. When I was 13, I started diving and in the army. I did it too. So I love my job now as an underwater worker.
I'm one of 2 employees at a pet crematory.
I recently started working in a carrot factory. I stand at a conveyor belt as carrots roll past me and pick out all of the moldy ones. How did I end up in this job, you ask? I decided to do an arts degree and now have no career prospects. In all seriousness though, I work with a lot of migrant workers who work extremely hard doing a job they are accused of coming to this country and stealing. They are lovely people who take a lot of care while dealing with the food products, and they deserve all the respect in the world for continuing to work hard during the pandemic.
I used to do artificial insemination and embryo transfer on cattle. I got it by being drunk at a party. Coolest job I ever had.
Official court stenographer. I type everything everyone says in court. I was told about it in high school and thought it sounded cool, so I went for it. Took 5-1-2 years in college, but I'm nationally certified to type 260 babble regularly, push above 300 babble in court.
I'll answer for a friend of mine, former college roommate. He works for a company which makes coin and paper money sorting and counting machines. They pay him to stay home and be on call. He's a happy guy. I don't know how he got the job, but he's extremely mechanically inclined and pretty inventive. Though calculus tripped him up and he failed college. When he was in high school, he mounted a model rocket like a hood ornament on his car, controlled by a button on the dash. Push the button and it fires the rocket.
Not weird, but pretty rare. I'm a professional winemaker. How I got it. I have a university degree in winemaking, viticulture, enology from University of California, Davis. Worked many harvests. Now I run my own winery. It's my dream job and I made it happen.
In the summer, I guard and clean the toilet units, not the toilets, for festivals. I got the job trying to find a cheap way to go to the big festivals, and this organization was looking for volunteers. So all I have to do is stand in front of the units, make sure the ground stays clean. Everyone had toilet paper, and clear a block of units so the cleaning team can do their job. Another part of the job is making sure no one dies or passes out in such an unit. You can't imagine how many drunk, often naked, people we need to get out of these units and escort them to the first aid.
I work as a handyman at a hotel. We do everything from maintenance to build mobile bars in funny shapes. We basically just do what the manager wants us to do, so we get funny projects like installing LED and 24/7 music into old broken jukebox machines. I was just lucky a former person quit so I could take the position.
Stagehand. At least I was pre-COVID. But anyway, I set up everything from huge concerts and Broadway shows to small private events and interviews. It's a wonderful job, and I love the people I work with.
Water quality testing. I go around and collect samples for various testing to ensure the water meets the state standards. I got lucky and met someone who was volunteering at my previous job, and she told me to apply. Was not the direction I saw my career going, but it was definitely worth it.
I work as an air traffic controller. Not weird, but not many of us around. I pretty much fell into it after passing an aptitude, and it's just been swell since. Albeit the classic phrase from strangers, isn't that the job with the most suicides? It might be, but I don't know anyone. It's actually super chill and rewarding when you get it right. We always try get it right, but when you get it super right, you're dead pleased.
I'm an assistant curator in numismatics. Basically, I manage our museum's collection of ancient coins. It's a small museum, which explains why I even have this job, as I'm not a professional numismatist. But we have a pretty sizable collection of mostly Roman coins. But we also have Greek, Hellenistic, Byzantine, medieval European, Chinese, Islamic, and Crusader Kingdom coins. I catalog coins, appraise them, do any research that is required, and help incorporate coins into our exhibits. I also do educational outreach, so I hold workshops for our volunteers and the public. I work with professors in the history and archaeology departments of the university we're attached to in order to help them incorporate numismatics into their curriculum. Edit. Forgot to add how I got this job. Basically, I came to university and decided to volunteer with the museum because I like history. I did tech support for the first year, and then the director asked me if I would like to train in numismatics. I said sure. 5 years later, here I am managing the collection, full-time in the summer and part-time during the academic year.
I may or may not handle nuclear weapons.
I used to digitize my local newspaper's old photo negatives for the local archives. I got to see the most amazing snapshots of everyday life and how my hometown lived through and reacted to major world events, such as the World Wars and the rise of technology and innovation. It was a great job, and I got to bring the pup to work.